Hi. So it's like 4 a.m. at the minute, which is pretty late, but I don't know. I've just been watching some of my old videos, like way back old videos, like 2016, which is like 4 years ago, so I was like 16, 17 at the time, and it was so different. I was so different. This was before I'd actually started like a formal education in philosophy. It's before I started A levels and before I started university, and it's so weird listening to myself talk before I've been exposed to these ideas by other people. What's happening? What's happening? There's a change. A change is happening. A change has happened. A big change. And I don't know if it's a good change. I don't know who I am anymore. I don't know if I'm living for myself or if I'm living for others. Am I living to impress others? To meet the standards of a society that I used to criticize so deeply? Have I become complacent in my search for truth? Do I care more about getting ahead? And I think I do. I think I do. I don't think I value truth anymore. I value truth, but I don't really value it. It's not like a deep seated search for answers. It's not like a deep curiosity about the world around me. It's almost like I've lost myself in the process of trying to be someone else, trying to be someone who can impress other people. And a person who I'm not, a person who I'm not capable of being, and who I shouldn't be. Because why should I try to be someone else? Why not just be the person I am? And I was watching a video that I made a few years back called Who Am I? And I said that it was a question that I'd asked for quite a long time since the start of my awakening journey, which I felt like I went on, and I probably mocked myself quite a few times in the last few years about that because of, I don't know, the social implications, the connotations it has to it, the wishy-washy ness. But yeah, I'm just thinking. I used to ask myself, okay, who am I? And I would go into deep speculation about that question. And I really cared about finding an answer. I really cared about finding an answer. But my answer was that there isn't an answer. I would speculate and then ultimately conclude that there is no set answer because everything is changing. And now it's like, I feel like that was the answer I came to, and that's the answer I would still come to, but it's all dressed up in connotations to other things, to other people's ideas. Like Heraclitus, for example. It's like everything's changing. Oh, well, we can't escape from Heraclitus. Okay? It's no longer about who I am, it's about Heraclitus. It's about his ideas on flux and motion and changing. And those are really interesting. Okay? They're really interesting, but that's not my experience. I don't see things in the way he sees things. I see things in the way I see things. Back then, I had no idea about who Heraclitus was. Okay? I just came to ideas that the world is changing constantly. I didn't even say it like that because that's not the way I would have said it. I would have said everything is changing, and then I would conclude saying that there is no answer to the question. That's what I would say. That's what I did say. That's what I believed. And I think back then, in some ways, I was probably more wise than I am now. And you know, I do have interests, right? I have things I want to learn about. I really don't know if I like where this video is going. I don't quite understand. I feel like I've lost so much. You know, there's this pressure. There's this external pressure and this internal pressure that are pushing me in directions, pushing me forwards to a place in time that I don't necessarily see, that I don't experience because it's not in this moment. Okay? I don't know what I think anymore. I don't feel like I have opinions. I don't feel like I'm qualified to have opinions. Maybe I'm not. But the only reason I don't feel qualified is because there's so much knowledge out there that I'm not aware of. And so much I never will be aware of. Because it would take more than a lifetime to read every single book known to man and woman. Real life. This is real life. I'm a person. I have options. I have decisions that I have to make. Right? And those decisions matter. And whatever decision I make, I am responsible for. Okay? So, big choices right now. I get some of my uni work. I do well at uni. And I'm financially supported for the next 2 years because of my student loan. I'm able to live away from home. And I'm doing a subject that I do love. Or I drop out of uni. I'm living at home. I lose my independence. I go back to work. And then what? What do I make of myself? And I understand that that is in part the internalisation of a social norm, of a structural societal phenomena, process. But it's a process that ultimately I can't escape from. Because that's the cultural situation. Right? I have to make a choice. And I don't have infinite free will. I have infinite free will in the possible choices that my situation provides me with. But I can't choose not to choose. Choosing not to choose is choosing. So it's a paradox. I must choose. I must choose something. And I must choose regularly. Because one doesn't choose once. And life ultimately becomes settled. Life is a series of choices. Sometimes you have to make the choice each and every day. Every day when you wake up, you're making a choice. You're making a choice to work towards your long-term goal by choosing to commit yourself to short-term goals. To make the sacrifice of pleasure for meaning. Right? And you have to make those choices every day. You have to know when to work. You have to know when to rest. You have to choose when to work. Choose to act on your knowledge of when you need to work. And choose to act on your knowledge of when you need to rest. There is no escaping from choice. Everything is choice. Choices which arise within given situations. And you have the freedom to choose. And that's important. Don't forget yourself. I guess what I'm trying to say is, I guess what I'm getting at this is because some of the things I said when I was 16 were applicable to the situation when I was 16. For instance, I could criticise the economic and social structure and the education system, because I was young. I was financially dependent. And I didn't have as much freedom, which also means I didn't have as much responsibility. But now I'm 20 years old, okay? Regardless of the objective meaning of that, culturally and socially, a 20-year-old person, or an 18-year-old person even, ought to be financially independent from their parents, at least in part. They ought to have more freedom to choose, and more responsibility to act wisely on that freedom. And that's what I have. And I'm really interested in existentialist philosophy. That speaks to me. And I'm an individual. I need to face that. I need to re-figure out who I am now. I can't look back to the person I was back then and wish to be that person again. Maybe I can take a lot from that person because I feel like that person knew a lot. That person had wisdom about life. That person made the most of their situation. That person had their eyes open, was curious, questioned, didn't take things for granted. I don't want to be that. I don't want to be the person who doesn't do those things. Okay? I want to be like that, but better. Not better, but more responsible, more free. And that'll do for now because it's really late and I felt like I needed to do that. I don't know. Gotta stay focused and serious, but also have fun. Okay, thank you.